I rule the kingdom of hair loss, the true alpha male, living legend of hair loss. The reason you're watching this video is you want to see what a man will look like if he is a Norwood 2.5 with some thinning on top, after getting a zero guard around the sides and the back. When I got my hair cut 3 weeks ago today, I said, let's leave the top. I'm growing this out from ultimately a zero guard buzz cut, back when I had basically the zero guard or one guard up here, and then ultimately a 2-month beard was over 2 months old. And now I'm transitioning out of that phase, growing this out. As you know, as you watch the video, 2020, flat top. Yes, I will be the most famous YouTuber rocking the receding hairline with the flat top. Again, because I rule the kingdom of hair loss. Who else is going to do it? I'm your leader. You'll kiss my ring. I'm your king in the kingdom of hair loss. So here's what it looks like. Zero guard on the sides of the back 3 weeks ago. And in theory, if it grows out about 1 guard a week, then in theory, this is pushing a 3 guard, probably closer to more like a 2. It's equivalent. Now, as far as what's on top, according to our resident, see, I'm the king of the kingdom of hair loss, but I'm not the resident barber. That's Maxwell Smart. He watches my videos and he helps give me insight. That's why I have him working in my kingdom for me. And he's been a very loyal servant and friend. Maxwell Smart. You'll see him pop up in the comments. And what he's saying is, this needs to be at least 3/4 of an inch before we do the flat top. And so ultimately my plan is, if I can get away with it, is just not to get a haircut until we've got 3/4 of an inch up here. That's my goal. And I don't mind if it doesn't look the best, because ultimately that's how I feel already. When you're in that transition from growing your hair out from a shaved head, ultimately, it's not necessarily going to look its best. Now, as you would imagine, being the king in the kingdom of hair loss, in my bathroom drawer I keep a tape measure so that I can measure here. So let's see here. How close are we to this? You can't see this as well as I can, but it's about if I pull the hair straight up, it's pushing a 1/2 inch. So yeah, I mean, it's, for me, I'm not in a rush. Ultimately I think it's gonna be maybe at best a month from now, maybe mid-January 2020, it'll finally be long enough for me to try out the flat top. But for me, in my mind, for it to be a flat top, it's got to be able to actually stand up, In my mind, my hair grows kind of straight out anyway, but I want to do this thing right. Ultimately, I think, in my mind, 1.5 inches on top, flat top, is going to be the ultimate moment. And we're going to see how it looks once I finally get it done that way for the first time. But I think to really give this a fair shot, it needs to be about 1.5 inches on top, to really make sure it has enough volume to can see what's going on, and I can use like a comb and a blow dryer and some hair product to really give it that full kind of 90s look. And I'm specifically not going for the military look. I'm going for the traditional, like basically, can I look like the principal of a high school in the 1950s, 1960s? That's the look, not military, not where it's rounded off right here. Definitely not the horseshoe, just the traditional box style there. Still not positive on how short I want to go on the sides when I do it. I like the idea of zero, but in reality, I'll probably go with the number 1 when I do that. So take a look at my hair, see what you think. But we are planning this 2020 flat top. So this is 3 weeks after the zero guards on the sides and the back. We're growing this top. I mean, maybe pushing a 1/2 inch, stretched completely out. But I do predict, I'm filming this December 14th, 2019. So I do think it's going to be a month from now, mid-January. And based on our resident barber, and our great friend, Maxwell Smart, he's got me a little bit nervous about, if you're gonna do this, do it right. You know, me, I go to, was it Great Clips? Is that where I go? And I've been getting rave reviews from you, the free market, about these hairstyles, including this transition crew cut here. But I'm wondering if once, just this once, I'll actually pay money to go to a barber. Maybe I will. Because I paid like $14 or $15 for a haircut, and then I tip them, you know, a couple of dollars on top of that. So it'd probably be more like 20 plus tip, I'm guessing, maybe. And ultimately, it's not going to keep the flat top all year. I'll maybe get it a few times and then transition into another hairstyle, because you need that as part of the free market. You need me to be changing all the time. You need me to be clean shaven like I am now. I mean, I just shaved. Then you need me to have stubble. Then you need me to have a beard. Then you need me to have short hair, long hair. You need those things in your life, because let's face it, this is hair loss entertainment at its best. You're giving me your time saying, Nick, you're worth it. And then I get the notification on my phone, $505 for that month. And then I say, thank you. This is a symbiotic relationship we have, that you find this entertaining. And I'm proud to serve as your mentor, your father figure, because you don't have a father in your life who's telling you these things, talking to you openly about hair loss, and saying hair loss is not part of your identity. Your identity as a man is not based on how you physically look, but instead of you being confident in who you are, no matter how much hair you have or don't have. My guess is you don't have a good relationship with your father who's telling you something like that as you need it, and then you come to me as a supplement for that in your life. Talk to your father about that. Tell him what I said. Because if you're so worried about, am I going to go bald? And that's the irony of this channel. The majority of my viewers don't even have a hairline that goes back this far. And they're constantly worrying, am I going to go bald? See, that is a psychological issue. How is your relationship with your actual father? I would rather you not put me in his place. I would rather not you supplement my psychological wisdom for his. I'd rather you hear this from him. But here you are, thousands of you watching these videos. I wouldn't watch them if I were you. But then again, I have a father who was there for me psychologically. So I didn't need to turn to YouTube for that. But then again, let's face it, I didn't have YouTube in the 90s when I was a teenager either. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about, how is your relationship with your father? Is your father reinforcing these values of masculinity and manhood? That with or without hair, you're not judged on that. You're judged on that if you're confident, despite how you look. And stop thinking like a gay man trying to attract gay men. Think like a straight man who's trying to attract straight women, because that's what the majority of you are. They're looking for someone who believes in himself, and more importantly, makes her feel great about herself, because she's got 100 times more insecurities than you do about her looks, because women are judged much more harshly on the looks. So she needs someone to take that burden from her. You can't take that burden from her if you're too worried about your own physical imperfections or perceived imperfections. And I keep reminding everybody, if you're trying to attract a straight woman and you're a straight man, it's kind of a good thing to look a little bit older than your age anyway, because it's implied that an older man has more life experience and therefore more maturity. And that's ultimately what I'm bestowing on you, is maturity, that you have not lived enough life to know yet. I think until you're a man of age 35 or older, it's hard to grasp these concepts. And, you know, for a lot of you, your fathers are at least age 35. Where are they? Why aren't they telling you this stuff? Why aren't you, the viewer, the subscriber, why aren't you having a conversation with your father about this, your insecurities? What is your father saying to you? Why do you turn to me? Why do you spend 10 minutes of your time for me to talk about all of this? That's ultimately something you need to ask yourself in 2019 before this year ends. Something you need to come to terms with. Have a conversation with your father. Tell him what I said. See if he agrees with it. Maybe he disagrees. That'd be crazy if he didn't. Imagine if you had a father who said, son, I only love you if you won't go bald. You better keep your hair. Imagine how ridiculous that would be. Do you have a positive influence from your father already or not? Is that why you keep turning to me? Is that why you elected me the king in the kingdom of hair loss? Your comments belong right here.